Impossible is a word found only in the dictionary of fools. You are watching this because something inside you already knows. The life you are capable of is bigger than the one you are currently living. Not because you are failing, but because you are built for more. You feel it, that pull, that quiet, unshakable sense that there is a version of you that has not shown up yet, and that version does not know the word impossible. Napoleon Bonaparte knew that version of himself, and he built an empire with it, from nothing. From an island most people had never heard of, from a starting point that gave him no title, no connections, no guarantee of anything. What he had was a decision. The decision that the word impossible was not his to carry, that limits were for other men, that the ceiling everyone else accepted was simply the floor he had not yet risen above. Now think about that same decision applied to your life, to your goals, to the things you want to build, the man you want to become, the standard you want to hold yourself to. What changes when you stop treating impossible as a fact and start treating it as an invitation? What opens up when you stop asking whether something can be done and start asking what it would actually take to do it? That shift is not naive optimism. It is the most strategic move a man can make, because the man who believes in what is possible for him takes different actions than the man who has already decided he cannot. And those different actions, taken consistently, day after day, produce a completely different life. Napoleon did not wait for the world to give him permission to be great. He did not wait for the right conditions, the right timing, the right opportunity. He moved, he built, he refused every limit that came his way and replaced it with a higher standard, a bolder vision, a more powerful version of what he believed he could achieve. That is the energy that builds empires. And it is the same energy that is available to you right now in whatever you are building. You are not a fool, and impossible is not your word. It never was. Death is nothing, but to live defeated and without glory is to die every day. Napoleon is not talking about the battlefield here. He is talking about something far more important, the way a man chooses to show up for his own life. Because glory is not reserved for emperors. Glory is not fame or recognition or a name in a history book. Glory is the private, personal knowledge that you went all the way, that you showed up fully, that you gave everything you had to the things that mattered to you, and you held nothing back. And here is what Napoleon understood that most people miss. Glory is a daily choice. It is not a destination you arrive at someday. It is the standard you hold today, in the small decisions, in the moment when you could take the easy path or the right path, in the private hours when no one is watching and the only question is whether you are being the man you said you would be. Every day you choose that standard. Every day you show up fully, work fully, live fully, is a day you are building something that cannot be taken from you, a character, a legacy, a version of yourself that is undeniable. That is glory, and it is not something given to emperors alone. It is earned in the small moments, in the invisible hours, in the daily decision to be completely, fully, unapologetically alive. Napoleon chose it every single day, and so can you. You are alive right now. That is the most powerful resource you have. Use it completely. Use it with the kind of intensity and commitment that makes your life feel like something worth having lived. He who fears being conquered is certain of defeat. Napoleon did not say this to frighten you. He said it to free you. Because fear of defeat, when you understand what it actually does to a man, stops being something you want to carry. It stops being protective and starts being the very thing holding you back from everything you are capable of. Here is what Napoleon knew. The man who is afraid of being conquered is already fighting the wrong battle. He is not fighting to win. He is fighting not to lose. And those are two completely different games. The man fighting to win is expansive. He takes risks. He commits fully. He puts everything on the line because he believes in what he is building. The man fighting not to lose is contracted. He holds back, hedges his bets, never fully commits because full commitment means he could fully lose. And in that contraction, he cuts himself off from the very outcomes he is trying to protect. But the man who faces his fear, who looks at what intimidates him and walks toward it anyway, that man discovers something extraordinary on the other side. He discovers that the fear was never as powerful as it felt, that the thing he was avoiding was actually the door to the next level, that every time he acts in spite of fear, he grows, he expands, he becomes more of who he was built to be, and over time, the fears that once felt like walls become proof of how far he has come, markers of battles he fought and won on the inside before anyone else even knew the fight was happening. You are stronger than your fear. Napoleon knew that about himself, and now you know it about yourself too. Walk toward it every single time. That is where your empire is being built. The battlefield is a scene of constant chaos. The winner will be the one who controls that chaos, both his own and the enemy's. This is Napoleon's greatest truth, and it is the one that ties everything together. Because once you have refused the word impossible, once you have chosen to live with glory, once you have conquered your fear, you will find yourself exactly where every man who builds something real eventually finds himself. In the middle of chaos, uncertainty, moving pieces, competing pressures, a world that does not slow down for you and does not organize itself around your plan. And that is where your real power shows up. Because the man who has done the inner work, who has built his mindset, his discipline, his ability to return to his center no matter what is happening around him, that man does not just survive chaos. He thrives in it. He becomes the still point in the middle of the storm, the one person in the room who is thinking clearly when everyone else is reacting, the one who sees the opportunity inside the disruption that others are too overwhelmed to notice, the one who moves with precision when everyone else is moving with panic. Control your own chaos first. That is the sequence. Get clear on who you are and what you stand for. Build the internal discipline that keeps you grounded when external pressure is at its highest. Know your values, your direction, your standard, so completely that no amount of outside chaos can pull you away from them. Because from that foundation, everything else becomes manageable. The chaos stops being something that happens to you and starts being something you move through, strategically, confidently, with the full force of a man who knows exactly who he is and where he is going. Napoleon built one of the greatest empires in history on these four principles. He refused impossible. He chose glory every single day. He conquered fear by walking toward it. And he turned chaos into his greatest advantage by mastering himself first. That is your blueprint, not just for success, for a life that feels worth living. A life built on your terms, by your hands, at the full level of what you are capable of. Refuse the word impossible. It was never yours. Choose glory. Today, not someday. Walk toward what you fear. That is where your growth lives. Master your inner world and watch the outer world follow. Napoleon Bonaparte proved what is possible for a man who decides to go all the way. And now it is your turn. Always remember, if you can be anything in life, be a Stoic.